Okay, so I finally made it to my call. And of course I had to get out my brand new gauges and hoses. And the original call was to blow out a drain that was leaking through the ceiling. And of course when I got here they said, oh, by the way, since you're here, this other unit isn't working. So I got my brand new gauges out, as you can see. The case is empty. And I already put them on the unit. I'll show you here what I got. I'll work on this Gibson, not one of them piece of shit Lennoxes. Yeah, there's a bunch of them there. And what I had here, as you can see, I'll zoom in. I have a low suction and a low head pressure, indicating a low charge. First thing I check for is make sure there's any ice anywhere and any indication that it might be iced up. So I'm going to go ahead and charge this up here. As you can see, this is retard on the gauges. That means, hey retard, you overcharged it. But in this case, it's just because I'm putting gas in. And as I'm putting gas in, I can watch my head pressure slowly rise. Now the crucial part when you're charging is when you get in that green section, which is for R22. That's your temperature pressure difference, because temperature and pressure are always related. In this case I'm using Dynatemp refrigerant, Dynatemp R22. So I look on my gauges at the green part and I watch the temperature of the indoor coil slowly rise as I'm adding refrigerant. Now, as I was saying, the crucial point is 32 degrees. You need to get that coil above 32 degrees to keep it from freezing up. If I stop charging it right now and I left, the coil would eventually ice up. So I'm going to keep putting some gas in it and watch my head pressure. About 95 degrees out. Well, actually 90. So I'll want to see probably at least a 70-pound suction. Now, up here in the Northeast is a little different when you size your units. We size our units to a 90-degree ambient, whereas down south is 100 or 110 designed operating temperatures. And all that really affects is your tonnage. See up here, if you oversize a unit, you won't remove the humidity. And although it'll be cool, it'll feel sticky and it'll feel a lot warmer than it actually is. Therefore, it's kind of uncomfortable and not very effective air conditioning. Well, while we're doing that, let's admire the piece of shit Lennox. Yeah. Overpriced piece of shit. That's what that is. You buy Carrier and Lennox and the main name brands, all you're buying is a name. They're almost there. It takes a lot longer when you're charging gas. You don't really want to charge liquid, especially into a reciprocating compressor or a scroll compressor. Neither one of them really like liquid. Now 410A and refrigeration systems that use 134A and MP39, any kind of blended refrigerant, you do have to charge liquid. But there's a special liquid arrestor you can put in series with your gauges, and all it is a little ball that flies around in a cylindrical tube that flashes the gas at the point before it goes into the equipment. And we're reaching our crucial area, as I said. If it was iced up or any other type of problems, I'd probably see frost coming back right now, but I don't. And this has a high pressure switch in it. It's in series with Y going to the contactor. And that's pretty much it. I want to get that head up to about 220, somewhere around 220, 230. And once you get the system nearly full, you'll want to really closely watch how much more you put in so that you don't overcharge it. Because sometimes you'll charge a system, and if you wait about 5 minutes, you'll see the pressures go up farther than actually what you put in. And more times it'll happen if you're trying to charge liquid in a hurry. That liquid will lay in the bottom of the suction line, not being pumped by the compressor, until it naturally evaporates itself, and then goes through the compressor circuit, and that'll take a lot longer to reveal the true pressure. Now you'll see, before when I was charging, I was almost down into the retard area, but now it's I'm only getting 90 pounds out of my tank. Well, the reason that is because my tank, as I'm charging it, my tank is getting cold. It's condensating. So as the tank gets colder, the pressure inside the tank is lower. Again, temperature and pressure is related. So if my tank was low, which it's not, sometimes I'll dip in a sink of water, warm water, or heat it with turbo torch. Not very much though, because that disc right there is rated for 300 pounds. And if this bottle exceeds 300 pounds, watch out. And of course, that's never happened to me. And I'm almost out of time here, so I'm going to cut this short. I'll finish charging this and see you next time.